Hello there. My name is Daniel Adjevich. I work for AppDynamics in professional services practice as a solution architect. I'd like to talk to you about AppDynamics DEXTER. AppDynamics DEXTER stands for Data Extraction and Enhanced Reporting, and it provides the ability for you to extract data and various interesting events and configuration from your AppDynamics applications, and then use that data for a variety of interesting and novel ways of reporting against it. It works by grabbing the data from inside of AppDynamics controller using a variety of APIs, enriching it, and turning it into a series of CSV files, which is then provided for you either as is or as part of the reports inside of Excel, Power BI, Tableau, and a variety of other tools. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the Detected Entities report. So within AppDynamics, there is something called AppDynamics Application Monitoring. When you use the entities report inside of AppDynamics DEXTER, you get to interrogate the entire list of all the entities from inside of the applications that you've extracted. Earlier, I've extracted about 20 or so different things of AppDynamics applications of APM type from two different controllers. So I can see which applications I extracted on the first sheet of my report. Yep, that's about 20 different things. I can see them together, and I can see the contents of those applications all in one screen in a table of contents sheet of my report. And here we can observe that between those 20 applications in row 6, they had 134 different tiers, which are logical groupings of activities that you can watch with AppDynamics, 164 nodes, which are runtimes, JVMs, CLRs, Node.js. The nodes have various types of properties. They're indicated on the row 12, row 15, and row 18. There's some backends, which are databases and remote services that are present in here. Maybe business transactions, which is the core of monitoring within AppDynamics on the line 24, and a few other entities that we won't go into. The information about each and every activity, each and every item in here is located in their corresponding table. So for instance, if I wanted to take a look at the list of tiers, I can click on that and see what tiers are there part of the applications. What I really like doing though is diving right into the runtime properties. And I can go to a list of nodes, and I can click on the types of app agents, pivot. And the AppDynamics DEXTER reports, we're leveraging the Excel pivot tables quite heavily. The pivot tables provide an ability for you to use interactive tools to drill down into your data and reformat the reports as you see fit. In this case, I will collapse the pivot on the couple of columns just to see on these application level properties. And then I could see the types of agents in this view. Allow me to zoom in perhaps to make it a little bit easier for you to see. So what I could see is that most of my applications in this environment are leveraging AppDynamics Java agent as indicated by the app agent area on my screen right here. So that indicates Java. Occasionally, we see a little bit of a .NET agent. These two applications on the column F, the application called AD Movie Ticket Score. Oops, how about this one? AD Movie Ticket Score has two .NET agents, and also this application is called Movie Tickets Online present, and that's because they have number 2 inside of the column F, which is called .NET App Agent. So now that we can see the agent types, we can also use this pivot table to filter. So for instance, I can filter only the Java agents, and then I can expand the specific filter to see which versions of an agents we got going on here. I can remove the filter at any point in time and reformat this pivot as I see fit. Now that we looked at the agent types using the nodes.type.appAgent pivot, let's take a look at what kind of specific backends are being used by this application. I can go to the list of backends by clicking at column C21, or I can go directly to the pivot using that table by clicking on C22. So I will do that. I'll zoom in, I'll collapse my pivot just to the first column. I could see every cell that has a number in here indicates that there's a type of that specific exit. For instance, maybe a database call as a column I may imply a JDBC call. That's a different kind of database call. Calls to Amazon services. Let's see what kind they are. Amazon S3 in this case, and Amazon SQS. I could use this interactive drill down. Use it interactively. So for instance, if I just focus on things that are Amazon, I can filter that pivot, and I can expand this pivot a little bit more to find out which applications are leveraging Amazon S3, Amazon SQS, and Amazon Web Services. Moving on to another area of entities report, we could take a look at the list of business transactions. Again, I'm going to jump directly into the business transactions.type pivot, zoom in, and collapse a few items in here. Right off the top, I could see that there's an interesting transaction called an overflow. That's one of the transactions that in AppDynamics groups activities that haven't necessarily followed the exact rules that you want, or are there because too many business transactions have already been registered. Here we can see that pretty much the entire environment, with some few exceptions, has this transaction present. So that could be an interesting area to investigate. Furthermore, I can see each and every type of a transaction that is interesting for me. So for instance, if I were to focus on my .NET applications, I could do a filter. I could type in .NET and only look at applications and their tiers and their business transactions that incorporate those specific ASP.NET, ASP.NET Web Services, or .NET JMS transactions. Right here, I can drill down a little bit deeper and investigate which transactions are present and which ones are right and which ones are not maybe so interesting for me. At any point in time, I can use the tables underpinning this entire background. For instance, if I were to go back to my backends into a table, I could see all the information that I was investigating using pivot tables in a tabular form. So if I wanted to find all the JDBC backends, sorry, that's not that one. If I use the backend type column and use that JDBC, I can find all my JDBC backends, and if I wanted just to look at only the JDBC things that use Oracle, I can filter it this way, find out which applications are using those backends. Thank you for listening. Now we'll resume this sessions. We'll continue with other reports in the subsequent sessions. Thanks.